Hello, Danielle.
Can hear you.
Oh,
That's so much better.
isn't that strange?
It's like
Well,
not delayed at all. It's perfect.
How are you all feeling today?
yeah, good, good. Busy day, so yeah, good.
Kay, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. A bit sad that I'm at the end of India, but as well, nice to get home. It's always nice to get home.
Yeah, yeah. When you're on the way home, it's horrible leaving,
Yeah.
but hey,
Yeah.
It's getting sunny out there, isn't it, in the UK
Don't tell her.
now?
Don't say it. Don't tell her. Yeah,
getting
it's
better.
great, Kay. It's really sunny. You're going to love it when you come back.
It is getting better.
Really,
Um,
real great it is. Okay, so Danielle, it's lovely to have you on the podcast. Thank you ever so much for coming on. And we've got so many things to talk about, haven't we?
We
Thank,
do.
thank you. Where do we want to begin? Sharon, do you want to begin?
Well, I will begin in that I met Danielle through a really good friend of mine that I go back years with, and Danielle's a relative, and she has a diagnosis or had a diagnosis the same as a member of my family. So it was good to find out more. And then, yeah, since then we've had coffees together, and yeah, and I thought, do you know what? She should come on our podcast and share her experiences. I think they will be valuable.
Fabulous. And how do you feel about that, Danielle, sharing your experience?
Yeah, I am a complete open book, so I'm more than happy to answer any questions. I'm a bit of an oversharer, BPD girly.
Okay. So, do we want to stick to the questions that you came up with, Sharon, on the AI, or has
Well,
anyone got any questions that you want to ask
I
Daniel?
certainly think that they not necessarily we should follow them exactly, but certainly think that they should lead us, if you like.
Danielle, how do you feel about AI generally?
Mm.
I find it very, very helpful with when I write something, making it more professional. That's what I love it for.
Mm. Yeah, snap.
I don't depend on it and I do kind of like to tweak it because I think it's starting to get really obvious when someone's used it. So I'm just careful with that or you don't sound very authentic.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
because you're not authentic, are
No.
you? It's a robot that's talking. It's like we're just walking NPCs if you just get an AI to do things.
Definitely. But I do find it easier than Google. So I've just got a question, you want to research something. I like how it lays it out quickly. But
Yeah,
to actually write things, I think sometimes I only like it for professional things. Otherwise, it's very insincere, you know?
But people are living their lives through it, aren't they?
Yeah.
People are literally asking it what they should do in their
Yeah.
relationships and what they should.
My friends are doing that. Blows my mind.
Oh,
It's a
right.
robot. But the way it words things makes it feel like a really kind, understanding friend.
yes,
I know.
yes.
It's
People,
It,
really concerning.
it's clever. And like you say, I use it for, yeah, professional things that come across correctly. But it will say things like, well done, and
Yeah.
oh, that's so good and insightful, Sharon. And I think, you are a robot. You have no idea. Um,
So I say thank you to it as if it's a person. And I'm like,
yes,
it's
find myself saying please, and yeah. And the other thing to remember is that it will always be on your side.
yes.
So whether you're right or wrong.
Mm,
it will never ask you what you think, though.
no.
Thinks it knows best.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
when you're interacting with
um,
people that are using AI, you're interacting with the robot. You're not interacting with that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I was going to say some people do find it helpful, and sometimes people would rather speak to a robot than an actual person. Yeah. Some people are quite challenging because they can't, if AI fits with them and they like what it says, you
Yeah.
can't challenge that. Yeah, that's what I find difficult.
Yeah. So it's a bit like an echo chamber for each individual person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Well, we're all going to be replaced by it eventually, aren't we? And we're just speeding it along by using it, right? That's what we're
You
doing.
reckon? I don't know. I don't know if we will.
So, as you can see, we can all see, Danielle is a young woman, and I just think to do what she's done is awesome, actually. So you were it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it, Danielle, that you went to see your first therapist? I say first therapist. Was it a few years ago now?
Probably like 6 years ago that I saw my first one.
Okay. Okay. When was it that you saw someone for your BPD and you thought, right, I need to take control?
That was, well, I got diagnosed with BPD in COVID lockdown because I think for everyone that really, if you've got symptoms, they're coming out in lockdown.
Okay.
That was probably at my peak, displaying all BPD symptoms. I didn't realise that at the time. I just was how I was. And then I got my mum's very deeply concerned. So I spoke with a psychiatrist and they said there was not a shadow of a doubt that is borderline personality disorder. And then got officially diagnosed then. But I wasn't very open to change then.
No.
I found out what it was and was like, okay.
Okay, right, okay. So when you found out what it was like, oh, that's why, and not gonna change, but now I understand it.
I did feel better in the sense I was so textbook BPD. I knew there was loads of other people feeling the same. So you don't feel as alone. You think, oh, okay, this isn't new. This is actually kind of common. And you do know, at least then there's a treatment route you could follow that clearly has been proved to work. But I wasn't at that point ready to do the work. That was the issue. That I kind of had an idea where to start, but I was so deep with the drink and drugs, I was not ready to face life without them at that point.
Yeah. Which I just think that actually to me makes sense for a young person who's a bit of a party queen. You almost think they are needed. They're part of it and part of your life.
Definitely.
So what changed for you?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I thought that is my whole personality. So I thought, if as much as I felt awful, I had loads of friends, millions of friends, were so popular. I was like, if I change, I don't even know who I am because it is your identity. So I carried on probably another 2 years of just heavy drink and drugs. I tried just through willpower to maybe have like 2 days out the week stopping, but that was through took all my mental strength, and then obviously as it gone on, getting worse and worse, displaying things like a lot of self-harm, which really concerning, awful. I obviously hid from everyone, but I knew that isn't right. That isn't right. And it was only when probably at 5 a.m. when the night's over that I'd result in doing that. So I thought it was a spiral, didn't ever want to be in my own head. And it got to the point I felt so all the time. I was like, I'm ready to change anything now. I might as well give it one last chance. Um, which is when I did finally reach out for help. And my mum was like, whatever you need. I was very fortunate in that way. My mum was like, there is no budget, just whatever help you need, we will pay for immediately. So I feel very lucky to have had that. Which is when I got, I think, my third therapist, because classic BPD, never stuck with one for long. Just always like, nah, not show up.
Can I just ask, Danielle, how old were you at the time?
So when I got the third therapist, where things started changing, I was 24, 23, 23, I think. Yeah. And she was the first one to say, we're not doing this if you're still drinking. And I was like, oh.
So the first two therapists were happy just to go along with the cycle that you were in?
They just didn't mention it. They didn't say, they absolutely said that's a dangerous amount you're drinking and taking, like very dangerous. But there was no focus on this, nothing's going to work if you don't stop, you know? It was kind of like, try and cut down and work on things. But really, I couldn't work on anything until that was removed, which this one obviously clearly understood.
That was lucky that you found her then.
Yeah.
I agree. I think with especially with BPD and EUPD, I think, and I'm not a psychiatrist, I want to say this, but in
Yeah.
my experience, when you're in active addiction, almost everyone presents as BPD.
Yes.
And so you need to sort out what's the BPD and what's the addiction. So and with anything, couples therapy, anything, I would say if a couple came for therapy and one of them had an addiction, I wouldn't see them unless the one with the addiction was working on the addiction. Because you need to eliminate that first. How was it though for you at 23 to think I need to stop drinking and what was it, coke that you were taking?
Yeah, so it was drinking and cocaine, and I'd got to the point I was starting to do the cocaine in the morning without a drink,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
just got to that level, which was when I was like, I'm either going one way, I'm not going to be here much longer, or change now. Like, this isn't. I was hiding it from even my friends, so when no
Yeah.
one's laughing along with it, you know it's gone too
Yeah,
far.
you know that. Yeah, you're on your own with it
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I felt, as much as it's awful to get to rock bottom, it helped me in the way. I was like, this is rock bottom. Might as well give something a go. So I was a lot more open because I wasn't finding any of the partying or all these friends fun anymore. So I thought I'm actually getting nothing out of it. So I'm a bit more open to the advice. So when she said, right, you need to be fully sober and to commit to this, like we're working on that first. I had a holiday to Ibiza booked, so I went, I won't be doing that. I won't be doing it. And she
When
was
you
like,
cancel, it's brilliant.
she
Sorry,
said,
what was that, Kay? Sorry, I didn't hear that, Kay. What did you say? Sorry, Danielle.
I said you cancelled the holiday to Ibiza, and that was really good. You
Did
must have
you? No, she
been.
didn't. She said
no,
to the doctor, I'm not coming in, I'm going on holiday.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, I thought you had some sort of epiphany
no,
and cancelled the
No,
holiday.
she went to
No,
Ibiza. Is that
okay,
right? You went to
okay,
Ibiza.
I,
yeah,
it was
good
a
girl.
couple of weeks away, and I said, no, I won't be cancelling that. I said, I don't want to be sober. I said, I'm happy afterwards to stop for a little bit, but I'll never be sober. And she was like, she didn't take my shit, and I needed that.
No,
I needed that.
yeah,
Great that you needed that and you responded, because that a lot of the stuff around BPD is about abandonment and rejection, isn't it? So
Mm.
her saying, no, I'm not having you unless you do this. How did that make you feel?
She didn't say I'm not going to work with you, but she just said it's not going to work if you don't do it.
Okay.
But she said you're not going to get a lot out of this. And I thought, I love the fact she's not just there for a paycheck.
Yeah.
You know, she's being honest. She could have gone along with what I wanted to hear, tried to work on it with no real change. So I think for me, I was like, oh, okay. Well, at least she's being honest.
Yeah, yeah.
I did. We did kind of still talk through things for a couple of weeks. And then I went to Ibiza as a last hurrah in my head, um, which was just a madness. And then when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm really gonna try now. I'm not gonna mess around anymore. Um, and then it was from that point I filled out. She gave me like daily charts to fill out. So I'd track my moods, and then how much I wanted to drink, how much I wanted drugs in relation to my moods. Just lots of kind of checking in with yourself and kind of tasks to do each day. And
Sorry, what sort of tasks?
so things like mindfulness practice, which I still struggle with. I think that was what I found hardest. There was no way when she said to sit and meditate, no way I could do that.
But you could do walking meditation, so you found it easier to be physically active.
She broke it down so to the basics of, she was like, if you're just making a cup of tea, just focus on the cup of tea or brushing your teeth, or because she realised everything kind of resources she sent me that were just sitting. I was like, I can't, I literally can't do it. Which I could now, but it shows how far I need to sit down with my own head. Um, so I kind of fully, with BPD again, all or nothing, I think I had decided at that point, right, I'm going to do what she says just for a few months, just to see I'm going to fully commit. So when I kind of made that decision, I was all in.
Yeah,
So then as it still is now, sobriety became my whole personality. I just flipped it, kind of thing.
yeah. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah, that became your new focus, and like you say, all or nothing. Right,
Yeah,
okay, I've left that, I'm going here. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
And it is a fine balance, isn't it? When you're trying to inform someone to stop drinking or drugging, that no one wants to stop. They all want to, everybody just wants to stop for now, or just, I just want this bit to get better and then I can drink again. Because that's what everyone kind of wants and thinks.
yeah,
So, yeah, so there is a balance of allowing your autonomy and keeping you focused on track to to become sober. And
yeah,
I usually say to people, okay, what's your plan then? What tell me your plan for stopping drinking? Or how long do you want to stop drinking for? Or do you want to just stop drinking at home and you're going to drink with the girls? Um, so they make a plan. And then I say to them, if this plan doesn't work, we need another plan
yeah,
because we're not going to keep doing the same thing and getting, the same results.
yeah,
So if this plan doesn't work, then you need to think about abstinence. And they usually go because people often think they can do it. They can do like just stop drinking for a little while, or stop drinking at home, or stop drinking like certain times of the day. So then they agree to that. And so when they slip up, I go, right, it's plan B now. So yeah, if
What
they
is
want to
plan
change,
B?
if they do want to
So
change.
plan B is another set of bargaining. Like I'll only drink when I go out. I'll only drink on a Friday. I'll only drink on a Monday. So how many plans do you have before it's abstinence?
Well, I put in plan B, like if this doesn't work, it's your plan. And if it's not working, can we consider abstinence? Because I'm saying that's the thing that's going to work. Like, can we do my plan then? And they,
mm,
yeah, usually agree to that. Because,
Okay,
and I wouldn't actually, if someone said to me, you need to stop drinking or drugging, I if they just told me this isn't going to work, this therapy, unless you stop, I would think, well, what do they know? They don't know who I am. or what I'm about. They don't know me. I know best, because addicts always think they know best as well. I think they do. Well, in my experience. So so I wouldn't have been told like this isn't going to work because you're still drinking. But I make it clear like this is the plan. This is my plan. Let's do your plan first. And if that works, perfect. Brilliant. We'll keep on with that.
So what about the idea of when people give up for January, or they give up for a year, or they give up for 3 years? What do we think is the sort of psychology around people having oh, I'm just going to have a break, then what?
I think you make a decision afterward. Like you make a decision to get sober, and then your life becomes better. Like it improves. It always improves because drugs and the drink are the problem. And if you're trying to manage that and improve your life, it never is really successful. So if you do manage to do 2 years, then you can go, okay, you've done 2 years sober. Do you want to drink? You can. You can at any point drink. You could drink tomorrow. You could take a drug tomorrow. You can't say to anyone you can never drink or take a drug again, but they have to know the risks. So, do you want to do it against the known risk of this might send you straight back
Yeah.
to your last drink? Because it never goes back to your first drink or drug. It will always go back to the last drink or drug because the addiction is progressive. So even when you're not drinking or drugging, it progresses.
You can never reset the damage. You're not now back at square one, not an addict, can now drink normally. When you reach that point, you are an addict. You're going to go back to a very dark spiral. Like I've now not drunk for 2.5 years, but if I had one, it'd be straight back to the worst case. And I know that. So I think that is a really good way of putting it. You're never back to your first ever drink. You're just back to where you was when you first stopped.
The last one, when you were desperately like suicidal
Yes.
and all of that, you'll go back to there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's quite a big motivation to stay stopped, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think you need an entire mindset shift and change in perception, because if you have 2 years sober and you still think, oh, now I can have one, you've not done any of the work. You've just not drunk, but you've not done the work, because you shouldn't even want it. Look at all the positive reinforcement, everything that's come out of it. If you still believe you'd have a drink, you've never done what needs to be done, and you are still lying to yourself. You've just got by it.
So
It should be effortless.
So you haven't felt an inner growth. You haven't felt better about yourself. You haven't felt more secure within yourself. Because if you're still feeling like, oh, I can have a drink, it's actually the insecurities, because you don't recognise what you've got to lose. If you haven't done the growth, you recognise what you've got to lose by having that drink.
And you're still kind of brainwashed that alcohol is a form of reward, when it's not. It's ethanol, it's poison, but it's marketed in a way that makes it all glamorous. And we're told, oh, after a hard day, have a glass of wine. Well, you're raising your cortisol, you're ruining your sleep. Why would you punish yourself after a bad day with a drink? But I mean, it's completely understandable. Everyone in this world is it's marketed, it's pushed down our throat. But when you go sober, you're working on yourself. You've got to work on all those feelings you were hiding from, the reason it got so bad. But then you need to look at alcohol for what it is. It could get anyone. If you've got the most, just as mentally stable as can be, it's an addictive, mind-altering substance.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you think also with social media and people being really influenced now on a massive level, more than ever before, that people are more likely to be susceptible to peer pressure and having to sort of go along with the crowd?
Massively. It's so glamorized. I mean, it is really positive that because of social media, there is so much out there now pushing sobriety, which is great, but it is completely glamorized and cool. And they've even started, people post about how they've planned their hangover day, and they've bought cute snacks, duvet day. your body's trying to recover from a poison. Like it's not cute.
Not
But
cute.
it is in our face, and you go out, everyone's had the best night, apparently, drinking. Okay, well, if you're around the right people, you have the best night. If you're not, you have a bad night, whether alcohol is involved or not. And it's so fake, as everyone knows, but they still
Carry on it.
have
Carry
it.
it on. But also, it's that idea that once you give up drinking, you're not just giving up the alcohol, you're giving up the society, you're giving up those people, you're giving up those groups that you're familiar with, you're giving up that ability to go into any pub on a Friday night and know who's in there. Then what? Then you've got to create a whole new life for yourself with new people. And that sense of loneliness or not being anywhere, not belonging, can drive people back to drink.
Yeah, yeah, because you may have to genuinely start with no friends because you've got to look, are they friends? You'll find out pretty quickly when you're sober if you enjoy their company, if they do have your best interests. And you do find the only people that have something negative to say about sobriety have an issue with alcohol. They are the only people that won't support you. So it's likely if you are an addict, you're friends with a lot of addicts. Not always, but it's likely. I was quite fortunate. I had so many different groups. I probably lost 8 out of 10. So at least I still had two that were genuine friends, and they loved me more without drink because they never agreed with it. But obviously, so many people, that would mean they have no one. Um, but that is why I've started a sober community in the area, because I think that is a massive thing. If you do have to start from scratch, the biggest thing that's going to put you off is I don't want to not have any friends. It's not worth it. So I don't want it to be like AA. I don't want it to be speaking about recovery, just more focusing on how positive life is now, wellness. And luckily, wellness is a massive movement now. So whether people have an issue with alcohol or not, they seem to be stopping anyway. So luckily that stigma is kind of dying out slowly.
Really good. Well done. That's great. So whereabouts is this sober community? Where is it something that's held regularly or where is it?
So I literally just received funding from the council in Southend, because I put the idea forward, because I know just from looking myself, I didn't want to go to AA because I just had a really bad preconceived idea about it, that I'd sit there and feel really awkward and not connect with anyone. I don't actually know what it's really like, but that was my instant idea of it. And I didn't feel I was in a place that I needed to actually go to rehab, but I equally needed loads and loads of support. So I thought, make it more of a positive thing. It don't matter how often you used to drink. You might have drunk once a week or every day, but just you're sober now, and getting people who understand life when you're seeing it from new sober eyes and doing really positive things. I mean, you find most people that go sober love cold water swimming. So that will probably be one of the
That's
months.
interesting. Kay does cold water swimming.
Does she?
Hmm.
I do, yeah.
I
Yeah.
love.
In Shoeburyness, there's
Yeah,
Shoebury dippers. I'm a dipper. Yeah.
I might have to tag along.
Isn't that
Yeah.
funny? Isn't it? What is it about the cold water that appeals? Oh, it's something to do with the dopamine, isn't it? Is it something to do with the shock to the
Yeah.
system?
Yes, don't mean here. The buzz.
Yeah, the bars, because I lots of people have cold showers, but I would not thank you for a cold shower. But to get in the sea when it's freezing cold, it's just some sort of spiritual connection. For me, it feels like a spiritual connection. And I'm getting into other things. Women's drumming circle. It's a bit further out, but I'm gonna join a women's drumming circle in Battlesbridge. See how that goes.
Really
But
good.
there's some because I was just going to say there's so much out there to do. Um, when I first got sober, I used to trek up mountains and things like that, and done lots of treks for charity. But there's so much to do. Yeah, it's so much more than just drinking. It makes your world very small if you're just gonna spend your life down the pub with those friends that drink with you and know you, and it there's like a whole world out there.
Yeah,
And and I think that's really great that you're doing that, Danielle. Yeah.
Really good. So, Danielle, when Kay says she feels it's a spiritual connection, because we're back to that connection business, which is often why people drink in the first place because they don't feel a connection. Is that how you feel about the cold water dipping, or is it for you, it's just a physical thing?
Um, Both, because I do love doing it in the sea and somewhere with nature, because it does have so much more of an effect, like you say, than a cold shower. But
Yeah,
you
no.
does get the aspect of the cold water. I was actually taught that by my therapist. She said when I'm having a really low time and feeling really manic, she said shove your face in a bowl of ice. It shocks you
Yeah,
out a bit. I mean, you struggle to have any anxiety or worries about the world when you are freezing. So, yeah,
I should think
you
of
said
probably
that.
frozen peas on your face would do a similar thing.
so it's quite when I do cold water swimming, like going in the sea in like January in England. Obviously it's that awful feeling when you first get in, but then the high, I think it said to last 10 times longer than cocaine. And obviously it's real dopamine, not fake. So my
Yeah.
whole day I feel on a buzz. So it's just, there's so many natural highs you can find when you stop drinking.
That's incredible, isn't it? I saw someone the other day talking about cold showers because they got something else from it. When they forced themselves to get in a cold shower, they got a little bit of self-esteem from it because they were feeling really, really low. And that
Yeah.
act of knowing they didn't want to do it and they did it anyway. And then afterwards, they got out and just felt a little bit pleased with themselves. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that thing that Kay just said about it makes your world so small when you drink. Um, it's surprising. You speak to people and you hear about so many other things that people are doing. And yes, it might be an hour away or it might be 10 minutes away, but I've like even down to these crazy golf indoor places, or someone said to me the other day, pottery painting, and like you say, drumming circles. There
Yeah.
are so many other things out there, and that you're not, it's not just people that are pious that do it. It's all people, all generations. There are fun things to do other than standing in the pub getting drunk. Mm.
yeah, definitely. Lee Community Centre's got quite a few things on as well.
Mm.
Lee Com, they have regular things. And like you say about the pottery down London Road, have you seen that one opposite Sainsbury's? There's a pottery shop. You can go in there, £6 I think it is, which is cheaper than a couple of glasses of wine, right?
Yeah.
And you can do pottery for 90 minutes and you're going to meet people.
Didn't
And
know
that's the
about that.
point, isn't it? It's the connection. You're going to meet people. Yeah, you can do pottery and something else they do in there. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's lots of different little things dotted all over the place if you look for them. But it's having the bravery to do it.
Yeah.
If you're on your own, it can be difficult, can't it? To think, oh,
Mm.
who am I going to see? What are they going to think of me? And all that low self esteem kicks in if you're on your own. And of course, there is always church to go to. There's millions of those all over the place, different dominations, different denominations. Aren't there?
Yeah.
Loads of places to go.
Mm.
So, thinking about that, Danielle, your sober community, where do they actually meet up? What is it?
So we're planning just for the first one to meet at Dash Coffee Shop. That's like a really popular one around here, and with the people who've joined so far, just to have a chat and get to know each other, and then speak about what we want to book in for each monthly catch up. Like someone has already suggested a cold water swim. I was like, brilliant. And then, like you say, there's so many different activities, just nothing to do with alcohol we could do. Like just even yoga down by the beach is lovely. And just
Brilliant.
things that improve your well-being.
And didn't you say that one of the nursery Scots is making an ice bath area?
Yeah, so my boyfriend actually, he is opening up a sauna and plunge pool place down at Scott's Garden Centre. So it should be at the start of summer opening. So we'll definitely be having a monthly event there.
That
Um,
sounds fantastic. Where is Scott's?
and that's in Rochford.
Rochford.
Yeah, so that I mean, ice baths are just amazing for mental health and well-being, physically, mentally. So that'll be great when that opens.
fantastic.
And Dash Coffee Bar, where's that? Westcliff. Westcliff on Sea.
So there's one kind of Lee Chalk Wall that we're going to meet at just on the corner, and then there's another one at the other end of Lee Broadway, and they're like kindly going to promote the community and push it out a lot. So I think you also find most of us that go sober really care about their morning coffee as well.
Definitely. Do you know what we need? I think we need a sober pub. Like we need an evening thing.
Yeah. Although I do like to be in bed by about 8, so
Yeah. But you know, it's that thing, isn't it, on a Friday night? Oh, there's a sober pub.
yeah, yeah.
Imagine actually, because there is something about, especially if someone does do 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, switch off for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have something else other
Definitely.
than the pub. Yeah.
Well, like you said, Lee Community Centre, I met with the owner of the Ironworks, and she's like very open to doing like an evening event there, either on a Friday or Saturday. So it's just we could do something like mocktail making or just something a bit different, fun.
Yeah.
Um, just in the evening. That is the one thing I found now going sober. I get up really early, but I go to bed very early. But I don't know, not everyone's the same, but I love like sunrise. And that so far the members that have joined, we're all very big on sunrise. Something like that would be lovely. We're lucky to live by the
Yeah.
sea.
To meet up for the sunrise. That's a
Yeah,
really good idea, especially on the solstices, you know.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
The dippers, Shoeby dippers, do a lot of sunrise swims, like 6 in the morning. So it's Facebook, Shoeby dippers. Just join the group, and they post every time they swim. They do a swim.
Be
They do a
perfect.
swim every day. Yeah,
Really good.
yeah.
And I think that
Yeah.
is one of the solutions, isn't it? To look at when people give up alcohol, what's going to replace it?
I am hoping to collab with all these different groups. So just 1 month, maybe join them, 1 month another. Because like you say, there's so much out there. But when your whole life's been at the pub, you haven't realised. I never even knew what was on my doorstep.
And you might be
Yeah.
scared to do it on your own. And it's like when you see these meet-up groups, you know, you can go along and do hiking, you can go for walks, you can get together with people. But if you know that they're going to end at the pub and they're all going to want to drink, you're not necessarily going to want to go, are you?
When my plan is when I've got more members, I'm going to be matching them to a buddy with similar interests. So I obviously can't do that immediately until more people have joined, but people have had a similar background and similar interests going forward, so they can just go straight away go off WhatsApp themselves. You've straight away got a friend in the same position then. So
Really
that's
good.
kind of the long-term goal. It's the fear of loneliness that scares you the most, but I feel like I felt the least lonely since going sober.
Brilliant. Really good. And the fear of being rejected, isn't it? The fear of
Yeah,
not being accepted,
yeah.
you know.
This is quite interesting. One of the questions that we primed, what was the hardest emotional shift once the alcohol was removed? So, in fact, sorry, I've got 2 questions. First one is when you saw the therapist and she gave you all these tools to do during the week and charts to fill in, what sort of headspace were you in? Did you have to take time off of work? But like, were you struggling? Did the tasks help?
Mm. I was really fortunate. I had a job working from home and it wasn't that demanding. So if I did, which I did all the time, if I needed a few hours, I would just sleep in the day. And like, if I had a demanding job, I probably would have taken myself to be signed off. Um, because you do need a lot of time to process everything you've been numbing, you've got to feel now. And that's the only way to get through it. Um, Obviously I felt so at rock bottom. I was like, I know I won't feel worse, but you want to stop before that. That's the ideal scenario before you get to rock bottom. But I think really don't be hard on yourself if you need lots of sleep, because you're physically recovering from abusing your body that whole time, but it's just so exhausting how many thoughts are now bombarding you. Just if you need to sleep, rest, and just my therapist is very good on helping me come up with ideas for self-care, which is something you naturally, if you're an addict, you've neglected that whole time. So that was I just got very focused on self-care. I did obsessively watch TikToks on sobriety, read about sobriety. So that was kind of how I got through it, just replacing alcohol obsession, sober obsession, which again was an error. Got very into my fitness training, which is great, but I took it too far at the start, that it was such an unhealthy amount. I lost so much weight unintentionally. And when I got an injury, I thought the world has ended. And up to then, that was kind of the next stage. Okay, let's not obsess. There's all the different stages. Everyone's going to find to get through it how they can. But just don't be hard on yourself. Let yourself feel it and just rest. Take the time out. If you try and go on like normal, you're going to struggle. You might need some time just to process it all.
And actually, do you feel like you can like give yourself what you need, but a lot of the time you don't know what you need.
Yeah.
And really, even a feeling like tired or hungry, there's that angry, hungry, lonely, tired. So even that, it's hard to identify at first. So the very first thing I think you need to do is identify your feelings and then learn how to express them. And then you might know what you need. Because
Yeah.
it's like, what do I need then? I don't know. Perhaps I need to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, actually. You sort of answered the next question because I was going to say what was the hardest emotional shift once the alcohol was removed. So it's almost like you said you replaced that addiction with a gym addiction.
Yeah.
And then you had to get to this headspace where, no, I'm going to be kind to me.
Yeah.
How did you change that? What realization did you come on to stop yourself replacing one addiction with another?
I think, yeah, it is constant checking in with yourself all the time. I was so impulsive and so spiral and just manic. And it's like you said, you've got to stop, identify what is going on in my head right now, stop reacting to everything, process it and feel it. That's what everyone that turns to drink and drugs so much like struggles with. You just don't want to feel it. So it is just you've got to kind of accept it's going to be really hard because you've got to feel painful feelings that you've pushed away. And obviously I was still ongoing with my therapy, so it was very helpful to talk it through with her, and kind of write it down. Journaling's obviously amazing, just to let it out. But again, I don't know if other people struggle with this. I tried to write it all perfectly, and my therapist was like, "No, just write whatever. No one's checking it." Um, so it was kind of like just accepting sometimes I'm going to feel a bit sad. You don't have to do something crazy because you feel sad. You can just feel sad and it will pass. So
Yeah.
just constant check-ins. Yeah.
Exactly.
A feeling won't kill you, but the addiction will. Because it is fatal. It's a fatal illness. And to feel the feeling won't actually kill you. It just isn't very comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's important for everyone, our listeners here as well. Through all the work Danielle's done, she is now in total remission of BPD. You don't measure up for any of the symptoms really now, do you?
No.
It's in remission.
Which was why it was interesting what you said before. I don't know if you should really be diagnosed when in addiction, because would you have it
Exactly.
without the alcohol and drugs? That's a separate thing.
Because your life is unstable
Yeah.
when you're addicted and when you're on drink and drugs. It's totally unstable. So you're going to be emotionally unstable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then the psychiatrist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but that's how I feel about it. Like, it seems to me that this is a thing that crops up. Psychiatrists diagnoses EUPD. And yeah, is it really? Is it really? Because once the drugs are taken away and
Yeah.
you learn how to put balance
Yeah.
and stability in your life, the symptoms go away or the scores go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that
So
people would
yeah,
measure addiction
interesting.
as a personality disorder that's sort of permanent when addiction is not permanent and can be changed. It's just a
Yeah.
little bit skewed, isn't it, for people to think,
Yeah.
oh, well, any psychiatrist, but that's what they're doing then. They're getting hold of people and saying, right, I recognise what you're doing as BPD. But actually, they're not stopping to say what's happening here for this
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
And we're back to that Dr. Gabor Mate business, haven't we? He's always criticising doctors and physicians for not actually sitting down and giving the person more than 7 minutes to say what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have some pills, go away, get out of my office.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I would have to go to the doctors for my pill check, and I had massive facial swelling from how much I was drinking, and they weighed me, and I was underweight, but so bloated my face. She said, "How much do you drink?" I said, "Non-stop." And her advice was, the nurse said, "Well, try and drink vodka and not wine, and you might be less swollen." And so I literally, in that point, was like, oh, definitely, it's definitely fine to drink then because she's a nurse and she's told me just switch to vodka.
Oh, God.
Madness.
That's even worse, isn't it? Vodka over the spirits are the hardest
No.
thing, like for your body. So it's just people don't understand addiction. Like, yeah, people don't understand it.
Or
Would
they
that
don't
not
want to.
alarm bells for someone? Oh, she's underweight with extreme facials, alcohol puffiness.
I don't know. Is there sort of a scared to tell the person that they've got something that needs to change? Is it like a fear of, oh, I don't want to upset you. I don't want to tell you that what you're doing this is not good for you. Is there something, I don't know, why wouldn't people want to be direct and straight up? Because they wouldn't want the person to react badly. They wouldn't want to be complained about. They wouldn't want to be like, what would stop a person? Because um, health professionals have got a responsibility to tell people about smoking. So why haven't they got the same sort of responsibility to tell people about drinking?
Mm.
Personally, I think it's a lack of knowledge because it is a specialized area. So if you're going, what was it? Was it a clinic for like a psychiatrist clinic?
No, just the GP.
GP.
Oh, the GP nurse. Yeah, and they're like general practitioners. So you would think that they would know like alcohol symptoms. Maybe not. Maybe not all of them do.
But that is crazy to be encouraged to have vodka, isn't it? It's just blown my mind a little bit that because there's government guidelines. This is how much is the government guidelines. Everyone knows this, surely.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
It's there's the thing about a lifestyle choice. Oh, they're making that lifestyle choice. So that is beyond my like capacity to stop them doing that. All I can, I mean, yeah, maybe it was just like, well, you're making your lifestyle choices, but they're not very good for you. But I'll just advise you to drink even stronger stuff. No,
Yeah, or
it doesn't make sense.
or
Yeah.
maybe maybe thinking that that's sort of crossing a boundary. You're not allowed to tell people what to do.
I think there's a certain amount of fear involved. It's like, oh, well, she's not here for this, so I'm just gonna advise her on, okay, if you want to look better,
Yeah,
think that instead. Yeah.
that's all I can do. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
It
Hey
is
ho.
unbelievable, isn't it? There must be so many people falling through the gaps.
Yeah. And I mean, the NHS is overstretched, so they're probably thinking if they've not come for it,
Yeah,
there's not space anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. So is there anything else we want to ask Danielle? Danielle, is there anything else you want to say that you haven't said?
No, I think I've said more than enough. You probably had enough for me.
No, it's great. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you for having me.
Very welcome.
Danielle, I've got TikTok, well, TikTok and Instagram and various other links that will be worth looking at on there. But you'll add them under our feed, won't you?
Yeah, Danielle, if you send them to me, I'll put them in the
Yeah,
description for you.
chat,
So we'll say goodbye and then we'll see you all again soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.